Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I've got a story that I'm not quite sure how to feel about. Now, I know that a lot of you in the comment section are going to be cheering this move on and saying that we should be doing worse. Now, I'm a little torn here, okay? For these type of offenses that we're going to go over, I'd like to see more jail time. I'd like to see life sentences. The problem with what they're about to do is what happens when you have somebody who's falsely convicted. Not that that happens a ton in these type of cases. So what am I referring to? Well, in Alabama, the legislator has passed a bill requiring offenders to undergo chemical castration before being released. And Steve Hurst is a Republican state lawmaker from Calhoun County, Alabama. He's the one behind this bill. I'm going to read you a little bit of the article, and then we're going to go to the source newscast on this. And I want to be clear. So this type of castration that they're doing, I know I put scissors in the thumb, but can't put a needle in the thumb. If I do that, God forbid, obviously demonetized out of the gates. This video doesn't get out there, and we don't have a discussion about whether this is actually a positive thing. So chemical castration. Now, the chemical castration would mean that the person has to keep going. Now, as you know, many sex offenders leave the state, try to change their names, obfuscate their identity. And I think that, just thinking that this is a one-size-fits-all solution, it's not. Secondly, is that, even with the castration angle, is that going to stop their sick desire to abuse kids? I don't know. I'm not a sicko. I've heard this floated around before, and it's a very emotionally charged subject. And the question being is, once somebody serves their time, no matter how small that may be, and like I said, the sentencing on these type of crimes is way, way too low. The idea that, the abuse of children is somehow less valuable than the sexual abuse of an adult later on, aka a rape, is beyond me. I don't understand it. There are some of these people that are like Dennis Hassert that have never been charged, ever. And a judge can call him a serial pedo and nothing is done. Just nothing. Just, I'll serve my 15 months. I'm out of jail. No child abuse allegations. Let's throw out the court case where somebody claims to have been abused as a fourth grader in a school while Hassert was there. Let's just throw that out. That's all wrong. But do we go this extra mile? Well, it looks like Alabama's going to try it out. So I'm going to read some of this, and then, like I said, we're going to go to the actual video where they discuss it. Alabama state lawmakers on Tuesday passed a bill that would require child sex offenders to be chemically castrated before their release from prison. A Republican member of the State House of Representatives introduced the measure, which now needs to be signed into law by Governor Kay Ivey. And I suspect that that's going to happen. I don't see this being vetoed. I see this going through. First time in the country. Steve Hurst, a Republican lawmaker from Calhoun County, says the chemical castration for convicted child sex offenders is an appropriate punishment. They have marked this child for life, and the punishment should fit the crime. Now, I don't think that he's wrong on that. Children who endure this type of abuse have mental issues for their entire life, and they're going to have struggles. There's no doubt about it. We did a story yesterday about a girl who had been abused when she was 11 and 14 in the Netherlands, and because of the laws there, she got a state-sponsored euthanization. That, to me, was insane. I couldn't believe it. But that does show you how damaging this type of abuse can be. So again, why aren't we giving these guys life sentences, putting them away forever, especially when there's appropriate evidence, instead of taking this measure? I think in a lot of ways, this measure, it could be dangerous. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me in the comments section. But we're going to go to this local news piece that talks about the matter and kind of break it down.
Is now considering chemical castration for pedophiles. A bill that would do just that is now on Governor Ivey's desk.
Now, if she signs it, the courts would decide whether people convicted of sexually assaulting minors would be administered drugs for castration. CBS 42 News reporter Corey McGinnis joins us live. Corey, you spoke with a representative who proposed this bill.
Hold on, let's stop it here. Now, the other thing is that, if this is 18-year-old with a 16-year-old, or a 17-year-old with a 15-year-old, or a 19-year-old with a 17-year-old, would the punishment fit the crime? And I don't know that we should have a sliding scale of sexual abuse for punishment for castration. Again, when you're talking about preteens, when you're talking about children, when you're talking about full-grown adults, I don't know why they're not getting life sentences. I don't understand it. I don't get it. They never, ever, ever should be back on the streets again. I'll tell you what, if you look at your, I use a sex offenders app on my phone, and it lights up like a tree no matter where you are in the country. It is the craziest thing in the world. See if I can pull it up and show it to you guys. But the idea that all these people are on the streets, yeah, it is worrisome. It is worrisome. And is this the answer? Have I put it on this phone yet? I got a newer phone. I don't think. Yes, I did. So if I just hit the search by current location and I allow and I pop it on here, let's see if we can get that on screen. Oh, doesn't look like we're going to do it. Oh, here we go. You can kind of see all those little red dots, and that's not even close to the amount. Like when you zoom in, oh my goodness, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And why? When I see that they've had multiple abuse on children, it's nuts. So is this the right answer? Let's continue.
I did, and he's very passionate about this bill. And I did want to mention that this bill has been in the making for quite some time now, but I also got the chance to speak with one attorney who says that this bill might be challenged under the 8th Amendment Constitution.
And I can see why.
They should be marked for life.
Representative Stephen Hurst is passionate and has no tolerance for child molesters, which is why he sponsors Bill 379.
Maybe now we can do something that can protect these children.
The bill requires child rapists to be chemically castrated once released from prison. Hurst says his original idea was for surgical castration, but after research of the issue, he opted for chemical castration, which involves requiring felons to take medication that inhibits their sex drive.
All we're trying to...
So let's stop there. So they actually did look at the physical castration. I don't know how that could go on with cruel and unusual punishment. I see how that's going to be challenged by the 8th Amendment. Now, the chemical castration, again, that you have to keep going and going and going, I just don't know, guys. I don't know if that's going to stop the issue of a sicko. I understand that people have sexual urges and that contributes to these things, but there's also something else very much going on wrong with these people. Do you understand that? So let's continue.
We're just trying to fix it to where that some small child is not molested.
Here's how it would work. The felons would be given the first dose of medication prior to their release. As a condition of their parole, they would have to go to the health department for follow-up doses, either through injection or orally.
I don't think it would be effective.
Attorney Raymond Johnson says the bill would be a serious constitutional challenge by any attorney that handles these types of cases.
They're going to challenge it under the 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution because they're going to claim that it is cruel and unusual punishment for someone who has served their time and for the rest of their life have to be castrated.
See, why don't they just spend the rest of their life in a prison cell? That's what I would like to see. Why are we not just giving these guys harsher sentences? You know, I'm reading in the comments right now, and yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, you might be playing with fire here. You could be creating somebody that's even more dangerous by doing this to them. And again, why are they on the outside anyway?
Johnson says child molestation is a serious offense and already has serious consequences, such as time served in prison followed by probation or parole. Hurst says the treatment would be reversible simply by stopping taking the medication and leaves this question for those against the bill.
What's more inhumane than molesting a small child?
I agree. There really is nothing more inhumane than doing that to a small child. So I'm in kind of a conundrum here. I think the sentiment is in the right place. I think the punishment absolutely may fit the crime, but is it actually going to solve the problem? Is it the proper punishment? I just like to see these people never outside of a jail cell, period. Folks, if you like this video, if you think these are important topics, if you're not seeing this stuff on the mainstream media, please hit that subscribe button right now. Ring that bell. Make sure you're getting all the notifications. Thumb this up. Share it on social media. Remember, I got a ton of work over at News, the number 4, A Change, and also We Are Change. Do a ton of good stuff there as well. but I need your support. So please share this everywhere. And remember, we are popping off, and I don't even know how many videos I'm going to do today. I did 6 yesterday. I intend to do 6 to 10 today. So stay tuned for the Burmis Brigade. If you're not a part of it, get in on it. Thank you guys for watching, and we will be back.